We go. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Ew. I try not to be too loud. I'm in a hotel, traveling again. So I got some neighbors. Don't want to sit here and start shouting into the microphone here, but we got to do our thing. So at the end of the day, fuck them. But we are back for episode 34. Wow, I'm off. 34 of Idiots on a Mic. Right. Got a lot to talk about today. So we went and hung out with you guys over the weekend. Megan and I, the fiance and I, I'm going to have to get used to saying that, started a little war, I think, is what's taking place here. So we had a couple Nerf guns for ourselves because we are children. Swung over to Target the other day, grabbed a few more Nerf guns. Just kind of chucked them into your guys' house when we came to visit. Hey, prepare yourselves. It's lock and load time. Let's go. It only lasted about 5 minutes. However, the highlight was probably... Now, I didn't get to see the attempted slide. However, I saw the aftermath of the slide where Griff was trying to crawl across the floor as he was getting absolutely annihilated by Nerf darts. Didn't stand a chance. You took the smart route, hit down the hallway, had a little sniper action going on. Appreciate the efforts you took.
There was too much wind going on. I didn't count for the crosswind, and it was,
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, I can try to shoot you point blank, and those things are going to, one way or the other. You just never know how those things are going to go. It was a great time. Wasn't sure how well received that was going to be. I was like, they're going to see this as one of two things. All right, they're fucking idiots. I do not want to partake in the stupidity that is taking place in the future Steele household. Exact opposite is what we got, though. We however, we did in fact get an all-out attempt at battle. We finished that night off, played the card game version of Oregon Trail.
Yep.
Oregon Trail.
That was good. That was well received. I think everyone liked it.
It was well received because as a group, so you're trying to win collectively. However, that is not the mentality going into it with this group. In fact, quite the opposite. So you get calamity cards. If you go 2 turns without getting food, then this person dies, or without oxen, then this person dies. Whatever. Immediately, without question, we're kind of sitting there thinking to ourselves, well, if Rod's gone, is that big of a deal? Is it honestly, is it too much of an issue to where we just we make him drink. We make our little rules.
Your fiance got bit by a rattlesnake. I went in and tried to save her, and then I got bit by a rattlesnake. So that.
Well, little. I mean, that's kind of my fault. Didn't shuffle all the cards as well as I should have. Sometimes you get into the heat of things and you just go. Already about 4 seltzers deep, maybe 20 minutes into being there. So,
good time.
It was kind of a precautionary tale after that.
I did happen to win us back the beer pong belt from Cowboy and Griff. So that
I heard.
Yep.
I was unable to partake at that point. Now, did Cowboy come back? Did Cowboy show up? What?
No. He something his back was hurting. Something torn labia. Something.
Okay, you got me on that one. All right. Fair enough. So I was thinking today about I finally got HBO Max, so I'm starting to watch a lot of new TV shows and everything. But it always seems to be, with TV shows and also with movies, is they're doing a lot of reboots.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, how many times are we going to do King Kong and Godzilla? And how many times are we going to dance this dance? But guess what? People are going to go watch it.
Yep.
It's this strange phenomenon where you sit there and you grunt and you groan and you kind of look at it, and as the trailers are coming out, this sucks. This is stupid. The original was the best. The original will always be the best. Every generation says their version of the original was the best. So what's your take on this? Is this something that are we going to eventually go back in our lifetime? Are we going to see reboots or remasters of Avengers movies? These blockbuster movies.
Oh,
absolutely. Are we gonna
absolutely.
see new versions of those again?
I think at some point you're probably, now this is probably going to be 40, 50 years down the line, right? Someone's going to come up with the idea, hey, let's reboot and redo the Infinity Saga. And who in their right mind sitting at that council table or whatever is going to be like, nah, it didn't really make that much money. Let's not give that a try. You know what I mean? Like it's
and that's what's tough though too, because you think about all the directors probably potentially out of the game by then too. So who are you bringing in? That's this hot shot young gun director who can crush movies like that. I mean, with those guys, with like James Gunn, and you talk about with Thor, Taika Waititi. What is that?
Taika Waititi?
Yeah.
With
and all these guys
in there,
Yeah. Got some reviews from family members about the world according to Jeff Goldblum. By the way,
love
fantastic.
It.
From my understanding, it is rather fantastic for them as well as it was for us. And I hope that's a continued thing. I haven't seen new episodes. I kind of peek every now and then on Disney Plus. That needs to be more than a one-off. I mean, they gotta that's.
Oh yeah,
that needs to be a continuation.
If he's not in the next Thor movie, I'm going to be kind of upset.
We'll see how they do that. Because what I would like to talk about is for Marvel movies, the Contest of Champions. So you have the Collector, and you have Grandmaster, and they basically say, "All right, you pick your Marvel characters, I'll pick my Marvel characters, and we basically pit them against each other in some way, shape, or form." And then if one loses, the other collects those characters and so on and so forth. And it's a pretty interesting little timeline saga that they do with that, to where you're kind of pitting heroes against each other a little bit, kind of pitting villains against each other a little bit. So a pretty interesting concept. I hope that's something that they explore and hopefully they get into.
If they do reboot the whole Marvel thing, I'd really like to see them, because by that time, I'm sure they can do whatever they want with the Hulk. Then I want to see like a World War Hulk type. Throw that into the whole saga.
I do too, and they kind of touch on it in the latest Thor movie in Ragnarok, to where he's battling all the in sort of like an arena style thing. But World War Hulk even further, like he basically saves an entire planet, to where he's like a warlord essentially. He's like the guy,
and he has like a wife and a kid too, or something like that. And
I still, for me, it's got to be the Old Man Logan saga, to where Hulk,
I really want to see that.
Hulk takes over the nation, and he has like all these inbred kids and shit. It's not a family friendly saga by any means. However, I think that's the approach they need to take. Now, the other thing I have problem with the reboots and everything. So even just now for our generation, we talk about Wolverine and what Hugh Jackman has done for that character, and we never saw that character come to the screen yet. And now, I mean, there's nobody else I see. They throw out a few different suggestions. One that I think maybe could fulfill the role, being Tom Hardy. I think he's kind of got that gritty character. The guy who plays Bane, he's got that kind of grit and grime to him that I think he could fulfill that role. But I just don't see anybody else pulling that off.
You won't until you do. It's like with the whole Batman thing. I'm interested to see how that one guy does.
Robert Pattinson.
Yep. Old Sparkles.
Yeah.
Old biting Sparkle.
I'm not. I'm convinced it's going to be a flop. I don't think anything but the Christopher Nolan trilogy has been good, with Christian Bale. So
what's that? Apparently someone's re-releasing Justice League on HBO.
Yes.
Yeah.
So here's what happened. So Zack Snyder was the original director for Justice League. He put in all this time. They had all this stuff. He had additional cuts in comparison to what's already out in theaters. So they're basically recreating the Justice League with the Zack Snyder filming that they didn't utilize at all. So it's like a 4-hour movie now.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
But yeah, they're going to be introducing that to HBO Max, which I appreciate HBO Max. That's why I did it. It's like $15-$16 a month.
Mm-hmm.
So every new Warner Brothers movie now is going to be going to HBO Max, at least temporarily. I mean, Tom and Jerry's coming out in like 3 days. I'm actually kind of excited for it. I grew up watching Tom and Jerry. So I'm there for that. Like Suicide Squad's going to be coming out this year. The Zack Snyder cut of Justice League. I will sit down and watch it. It was kind of a flop to begin with, so how much more they can improve on it based on some of the additional stuff. But
apparently, from my understanding, and talking to Bryce too, because he's a ridiculous DC fan. But
he's a stooge.
Yeah, talking to him anyway about it, and he says that they're not using any of the footage that was used in the first film.
Really?
Like, apparently, this is all footage that wasn't shown or footage that was shot before the other guy even started shooting. So
yeah, so
I'm interested to see just in that concept. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and I think what happened is Zack Snyder's daughter got sick or something like during filming, so they basically stepped away from him and had someone else fill in and complete it. So yeah, maybe there's an entire movie that we don't know, but I'm excited because hopefully it's not like now. What I would like to really see is them go back and redo Batman vs Superman, because the whole our moms are named Martha, so we shouldn't fight each other thing. Bit of a dumbass move for a movie, but I just don't know I don't understand what the direction is. Wonder Woman stunk. I don't know if you saw that yet.
No.
The new Wonder Woman movie was a flop. It stunk. I would say don't waste your time with it. They did not improve on the character, which is sad because the first one did very well. I thought DC was heading in the right direction, and then they came out with that piece of trash. And I don't know. I think they're heading backwards now. I
think DC might have a gem though with this new Suicide Squad with James Gunn. Like I'm never gonna write him off with a movie like that. You know, I am excited for that.
Yeah, we'll see. I never saw Birds of Prey. I didn't really hear anything.
Either.
I didn't really hear anything on it. Not sure if it was a good movie or not. Other than the fact that Margot Robbie is a babe, so they kind of
gotta sell like, tickets, man.
Yeah. So it was kind of one of those things where it's like, here you go. Pretty cool that they did a female-led movie, and I think you're going to start seeing a lot of that now. Which, I mean, you can oppose that. There's controversy. Like when they did Ghostbusters, they rebooted it and they did it a female only cast,
and it did awful.
And not only did it do awful, but I don't really see the necessity for rebooting the movie. Why not just recreate something else with a similar premise? Because I mean, I forget who it is. This is going to bother me now because I just listened to this interview not that long ago where basically they say there's 7 types of movies. Like there's subplots for each of those, and those may be different. However, the main premise of like movies and books and stuff, there's 7 types of those.
Mm-hmm.
So how original you can get with some new things. I mean, I guess if you take some really creative liberties, but otherwise, not really.
And the thing that turned me off about that movie, and I think the thing that turned a lot of people off from going and even seeing it, is they rebooted it to be an all-female cast. They only rebooted it for that reason, it felt like. And you're like, I'm tired. I've seen Grey's Anatomy. I'm tired of your political agendas being pushed in my face. I'm not supporting this shit. All right? I'm all for equality. I just don't want to, don't throw your political views at me.
And To a degree, I agree. I think it's more so, like I said, like they should make it their own.
Absolutely.
If they're gonna do it, make it their own. Like do an original, and
Mhm.
that way you're not banking on the success of the previous movies in the first place. Like if that's the approach you want to take, then make it something of its own, and do that. Now, Birds of Prey a little bit different because there was not a Birds of Prey initially, so that's something they created out of thin air.
Was it very similar to like how Suicide Squad was set up? I'm assuming.
Pretty much. I didn't actually end up seeing it. I think it might be on HBO Max, so maybe I'll catch that on the flight home tomorrow. First class, by the way. I keep getting the emails that are like, "Hey, you're upgraded. Hey, you're upgraded. Hey, you're upgraded." I'm like, my liver cannot handle these first class tickets. That's like the only time they're serving drinks is if you're in first class, depending on what airline you're on. But yeah, I don't know. I'd like to think that there's going to be some originals coming out, but unless original books start coming out, like smash hit books start coming out, we're probably not going to see movies that are all that original.
Yeah. Yeah, I got nothing for that. I mean, it sucks here. Wonder Woman, the second one was so bad. The first one I thought was pretty. Besides, like the main boss, like the main villain, I thought it was pretty good. I thought the main boss was a little
But here's the thing I don't understand is there's such a vast variety of universes and timelines and this and that. But I mean, to a degree, that's, I think, where Marvel screwed up, to where they created this entire timeline and you can only go in that direction. Now they're starting to kind of jut off with what they're going to be doing with Doctor Strange or what they're doing with WandaVision right now. You haven't seen it. We won't.
Nope, absolutely not. But yeah, why didn't DC take that approach instead? Like, instead of trying to replicate what Marvel did, why not, take this story, this Wonder Woman, and then, all right, this is from a different timeline completely. It has nothing to do with you. You know what? Maybe have a few Easter eggs in there, something like that. But like, all right, this is what if Wonder Woman was this person, or if Wonder Woman was Batman,
And that's the thing, is they laid the foundation so well with the Flash TV series to where they had a real opportunity to do that. So any of those DC fans who were watching those movies, they had an opportunity to say, hey, what they've done on the CW, we can take and we can expand on. On this Earth, they're doing this. On this Earth, this is happening. On this Earth, this is happening.
Have they expanded any of that yet?
I don't know. I haven't watched the newest episodes of Flash. I just wait until they come out on Netflix and then kind of binge a whole season. So I don't know if I've done that. I don't know if I'm completely caught up yet. Arrow's done.
Yep.
Legends, I think, is done.
Yeah. I want to see. I didn't know Lucifer was in that whole universe, but apparently he was.
Yeah. Constantine and Lucifer. Yep.
I want to see John Diggle as the Green Lantern.
Which they allude to enough times, Hopefully, now I'm interested to see them redo. That's the only upside to reboots, right? If you got a shit one the first time, here's another chance.
Yep.
Like, unfortunately, Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern was
awful
swing and a miss. It was not good. Shout out to Ryan Reynolds. I love him as an actor, but stunk.
Dude, I got goosebumps when the last episode of Arrow, when he opens up that thing and you just see the green glow on his face. I'm like, whoo! All right, I can get behind that. I don't know about the rest of this nonsense, but I can get behind that.
But here's the thing: like any long-standing TV series, especially when they try to expand on it, is the funding gets stretched too thin, and then it starts to stink.
Whatever happened to you remember when Game of Thrones ended? They were talking about the expansions for Game of Thrones.
They are going to be doing that. They're going to be doing that. I forget the name of what the new series is going to be, but it's going to basically follow the reign of the Targaryens, like leading up to the reign of the Targaryens. And I'm excited for it. So I got this book. Hang on one second. I got it with me here.
Ladies and gentlemen, he does know how to read.
It's got pictures in it. So. The Untold History of Westeros and Game of Thrones. So I'm pretty excited for that. So it's like everything leading up to Like it talks about the first men and the children of the forest, and I'm assuming they're going to get into how the wall was built and everything like that. Seeing as they botched what everything looks like going forward, now they have to do all these prequels because now that universe stinks.
I would just like to live in George R. R. Martin's mind just for a little bit. I want to see what it's like.
Floppy wiener, floppy wiener. So for those of you who don't know, South Park did a wonderful special Game of Thrones themed special, and it was rather fantastic. South Park has yet to miss the mark on when they're making fun of the series or any sort of political movement, anything like that, in a tasteful way, I would argue.
Yeah, it's not tasteful, but it's funny.
Yeah,
that's what the people want.
Right. Okay, so let's get into our questions. Question 1 for you: Would you want to permanently feel zero pain? Now, think about this. Pain is an indicator that something is wrong. If you don't feel pain, I can keep my hand on a hot stove. Yes, I will get 3rd-degree burns, but I will not feel it.
Have you, it's an actual medical condition, right? Like there are people out there who can't feel pain.
I think it was House. They have.
Yep. That was one of them.
Yeah. on House is wild.
Oh, House is underrated for, people are like Grey's Anatomy is the best medical show. And I'm like, the House is really good.
Well, House is good because the sarcasm and raw like assholishness. Yeah. It's so fun to watch. So I saw this. I always see this meme that's like, on an episode of House. All right, this guy comes in. Yeah, I'm feeling these symptoms and everything. We've gone through every test. We don't know what it is. And then House walks in. He's like, stick a couple toothpicks in his ass and he'll feel better. And they're like, oh my God, that's actually what saved his life. So House, it's so unconventional too. And I need to go back and watch it. I used to catch it when Mike and I were living together. I would catch episodes while he was watching it, but I've never fully sat down and watched it myself. Always enjoyed it. Just something I've never actually gotten to.
I think I might have it on my Amazon, so give it a check.
By the way, having HBO Max, now I have access to all 7 seasons. I'm not going to count the 8th season of Game of Thrones. I'm excited. Started watching. I'm going to make a recommendation for you. You'll probably never watch it because that's kind of the thing that you do. But True Detective.
Nope, won't watch it.
First season, and I think each season, from my understanding, follows different detectives. However, season 1 is Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey, and Matthew McConaughey's character is odd, robotic, psychotic. Just it's one of those cringy characters because it's not like he necessarily says things that are weird. Now, he does say a lot of things that are weird. He doesn't say anything necessarily cringeworthy, I would say, but just his demeanor, the way he acts, the way he talks, the way he interacts with people is just, it just kind of makes you chill a little bit.
All right, I might have to watch it now. I'll think about it.
It just season 1. I get you. Listen, buddy. I get you hooked up. I'll get you hooked up with my HBO account if you really want to watch it. Another good one, Curb Your Enthusiasm. Shout out to my cousin Tommy for his recommendation for Curb Your Enthusiasm. It's basically like, it's a very irreverent show. Think of like how Seinfeld was. Mm-hmm. Basically, every episode is, and they're not necessarily connected. You can watch one without watching the other. It's very sitcom-esque. However, it's basically just, he gets himself into a situation every episode, but very like social situations. Like the one episode I just watched, his buddy's mom, he gets her this nice gift, and he's an older guy. He's an older guy, middle-aged, older. He gets his buddy's mom these sunglasses, and she's like, "Oh, I want to see how I look." And she's like, "Oh, I think I could see myself in the toaster." So he's like, "Oh, here, let me help you." He holds the toaster up, and when he holds the toaster up, he accidentally grazes her boob, right? But he's like, he doesn't pull away right away because he doesn't want to be like, "Ugh," you know what I mean, and make her like offend her that way. However, he holds it too long, and so his his buddy calls him up next day and he's like, yeah, man, you can't come over to the house for a while. Mom's upset. She's talking about how you basically caught the feel and all this stuff. And it's like, it's very like simple little things like that I mean, there's so many things that I have found myself really comparing to and associating with, to where it's one of those things that I'm like, okay, yeah. All right.
Speaking of cringeworthy, have you seen Knock Knock yet?
Yes, I did watch it. It was sickening, man.
Wasn't it so cringeworthy? I was like, oh my God.
I just, for who we know Keanu Reeves is as a person and the movies he's done previously, I don't know what made him agree to do that movie. Not a good movie. Not a fantastic premise. Really weird, really disgusting.
You guys should watch it. Give it an oral. Watch the first half hour. That's it. You'll be fine.
But if you feel like watching something a little pornographic, but storyline-ish, probably something you want to watch.
Yeah, it's a little extra kink in there, if that's what you want. I don't know.
It is. It's so disgusting. Like I just, who in their right mind?
I feel like it's people at Lion's Den who created a movie. You know what I mean? Like
they're like doing key bumps in the director's meeting. Like, all right, man, what? I got an idea.
Have a call him Daddy. That'll work.
Yeah, a lot.
Good. Don't watch anymore.
Yeah. Save yourself from it. I sent you that meme about how they're making the Fast and Furious movies, which that franchise can die as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, absolutely. They said they were done after Paul Walker died, and they're like, oh no, now we're doing this and this and this. I'm like, all right, cash cow.
I didn't think we'd get involved this heavily in movies on today's episode, but here we are. Like, there might be a few questions we will reuse for next episode because we may not get to them today. So they basically. The meme that I sent you, or the video that I sent you, this guy he does a line real quick. He's like, okay, we're gonna do Fast and Furious Mad Lib, so we're gonna fill in the blanks. Okay, character that previously died. Okay, a rapper who was famous in like the late '90s, early 2000s. Okay, and they go through and they basically just plug in all these characters and everything based on that little Mad Lib they do. I'll make sure I have the meme to be able for us to pull it up for next episode. Very awesome. Enjoyable, and sadly, incredibly accurate for the Fast and Furious series. I don't know.
Do it for family, man. For family.
Yeah, and for whatever reason, at the end of the movie, Vin Diesel is gonna say, "I ain't got relatives. I got family."
Yep. At the end of it. Oh God! After Triple X, it just feels like he hasn't done really a whole lot of. I mean, was it the Pacifier? That one wasn't bad.
Fantastic! That's a great movie. What are you talking about? Vin Diesel as babysitter / protector.
Like, what happened to like the badass action movie star we used to watch in like the movie like Pitch Black?
Have you seen that? Chronicles of Riddick, Pitch Black, that series,
Triple X, that sort of thing. I was like, damn, I missed.
You're in the Sander zone.
Yeah.
He drives a car off a bridge, parachutes off of.
As a kid, you think it's the coolest thing in the world because they got these like darts that do different things. These bullets that are like, oh, this one has blood that'll just intoxicate them, and you're like, all right, yeah, cool, that's fucking cool. Get behind that.
Shoot me with some of those, baby. Let's have a party. Yeah. Well, do you know Vin Diesel makes music?
I did not know that.
Yep, Vin Diesel makes music. Darren Waller makes music. The tight end for the Raiders. I listened to some of it. Good. Uses the N-word a little too much for my taste, personally. Yeah. However, not bad. I like the premise of what he's singing about, what he's rapping about, which, naturally that brings us to our good friend, Devontae. I keep asking him.
I was about to say, it probably ain't as good as our boy Devontae, all right? I'm just saying.
I tweet him probably like once a week or once every couple of weeks, like, hey man, when's the next hottest album gonna drop here? What's the next single we got coming on? He's always got me very hopeful. I don't know the process for making music, so however long that takes. I mean, you talk to some guys and they're like, I've had songs written for about 3 years, but we're finally now producing them. And then you have guys that are like, I watched a video, and this has been a couple years ago now. It was Chris Stapleton and John Mayer. John Mayer was on tour, and he's like, hey, I wanted to bring Chris Stapleton on, and we talked about, okay, are we going to do one of your songs, or are we going to do one of my songs? Chris Stapleton's like, why don't we write a song? So, like, within 3 days, they've written and practiced a song to be able to do while John Mayer's on tour. Pretty incredible, if you ask me.
I'll tell you what, McLean's voice, I did not expect that.
I know.
I did not expect that. That is good. That is damn good.
When you're talking to him, you're like, okay, he's got some smoothness in his voice. I like that. All right.
Yeah.
But then he's got like, so for me, and I don't know how he's going to take this. I don't know. I'm going to clip this and send it to him and be like, hey, what do you think about how we feel about your? It's like there's like yeah. So there's like a Rick Ross to him, and there's also like a J. Cole to him. There's like there's such a variety, like more of a like J. Cole, kind of having that in between singing, rapping type deal, and then there's Rick Ross, like I can't do a Rick Ross impression, but you get it.
Well, he was talking too on one of the shows, the one song he did, and he's like, yeah, a lot of people didn't realize that I could actually sing, and I was like, hell yeah, you can sing. I listened to that song all the way at the gym the other day. That's some good shit.
Yeah. I think it was last month he dropped, I don't want to botch it, Be the Man. I got to look it up. I can't do that to him to where I get it wrong. I can't get it wrong. I can't do that. Which is unfortunate because I do listen to this song quite regularly. That would help if I could spell his name. Be the Man. Be the Man just came out last month. I'm hoping for a couple more. If we need to put the pressure on him to make some music, then that's what we got to do. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe we get some other. Maybe we can get some other. Maybe he can hook us up with some other rap friends. Get them on the show. Talk about the process a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. And hey, man, if there's one person that's dedicated enough and everything, he's gonna put out more stuff. Like that guy's the man.
Absolutely. And one of the coolest, most chill dudes I've ever met. And the fact that he was able to razz on Mason a little bit. Our good friend
what was it?
Mason.
Big butt Mace. What is that?
Big butt Mace.
Big butt Mace. Is that what that was?
No. Big butt. What was it? Big butt 69 or something.
Yeah, Big butt 69. Yeah, that's.
See, now here's the thing. Mason always had opportunities to make fun of me because he's got about 120 pounds on me. So anything that comes out of his mouth is going to be one of those yes sir, no sir type things as my response. Clearly a significant size difference. I told the story about how he literally just picked me up out of a U-Haul and set me down. Probably one of the most emasculating things that has ever happened to me in my lifetime. But
hold on a second. You met Mace in college, right?
Correct.
So in high school, you weighed about 220, 230, and you were a hefty fellow. So when you met Mace, you said, damn, I know I'm never going to be stronger than this guy, but I sure as hell better be able to outrun him. So now you're fit as shit, and so you can run faster, so you can talk shit to him. Bingo.
It was one of those things, and I mean, even throughout high school, we saw guys squatting like 550 pounds and things like that. You take one look, and you're like, don't know if I'm going to be there, so let's go. Let's swing to the opposite side, and let's just try to be shredded and fit and take that route. Do all the body weight stuff, everything like that.
Running 3 miles 3 times a week. Good for you, man.
Yeah, I'm doing okay. They keep that little gym area at about a 95-degree setting. So
nice and cool for you. That's nice.
Nice and cool. Yeah, work
Yeah.
a good sweat. Fantastic sweat, I'll
Yeah.
tell you what.
Well, I have to wear a sweater. That's pretty cold.
My next question for you. What weird thing would you make socially acceptable if you could? I see, actually, this just popped into my head. It's just when you're like really full and you want to kind of like unbutton your pants a little bit.
I wish that's socially acceptable, isn't it? Like,
no, I don't think it is. I don't think you could go out in public and do something. Like I mean socially acceptable, like as in like you go to a social setting and you can do these things. Like I don't know what restaurants you're unbuttoning.
Listen. I don't know about you fit fellers, all right, but those of us who have a little bit of a gut that hangs down a little bit, you can go unbuttoned. All right, so you already feel good after the meal.
And then what? You get more full, so you unzip your pants. Like, what's the process?
Oh no! You unbutton because you feel good. You know, you wear your bigger jeans. You know, you unbutton a little bit, the gut hangs down over, and then you eat, and then you're like, wow, I feel great. But for you, you know, you skinny guys, it's like, oh God, I'm so full. Well, you know what? Shame on you. Should have had a belly.
Skinny guys? You said? You see it. I know you see it. So,
ladies and gentlemen, we have Slender Man in the house.
Well, the lighting's not right. It's usually better shadows on the. Did not do myself any favors by doing that. However, funny little story. I made a poor decision at the airport the other day. Now nothing came of it, and I didn't think twice about it. So I'm going into, and luckily it was a smaller airport, so like I said, nothing came of it. I used the phrase "jumping the gun" to a TSA agent.
Oh,
not even thinking about I scanned my ID. I went to go put it back, and he's like, that didn't go through. Why don't you try it again? So as I taken it out, like, jumped the gun, putting it away. And he just kind of went, yeah, like I'm waiting. He's wait, what was that, son? He kind of put the old hand on the hip situation going on.
Sir, we need you to evacuate immediately.
Yeah.
We're going to open your rectum now and see if you have anything inside of it.
Is that where you're keeping the gun?
No, that's not what I'm keeping.
Time down, get him.
I want that job.
You put like one of those like gloves where they inseminate cows. It's like all the way up to the elbow. That's so like yeah.
Call every person Bessie. Just all right, Bessie, here we go.
I think there's lawsuits probably waiting to happen.
You know, speaking of airports, you know, every time I go to the airport, I'm always amazed at the kind of weird shit you find in vending machines.
Speaking of socially acceptable, airports are a no man's land for whether it is or not. You can do it. Like, just do it.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah.
So at the vending machine, you don't like the vending machines?
No. You got iPods, you got headphones, you got also like phones. You got in these vending machines. Like, what? Why are people? Who's buying this stuff?
I've done that before.
Yeah.
So, well,
you're the problem.
I have this thing. There's something wrong with me. Like, I have this magnetism to headphones. I buy headphones like every year, every 2 years. I get new headphones. And there's nothing, like, there could be nothing wrong with these, but I just walk by. I'm like, that is a nice pair of headphones, and I just get them. Like, I don't know what it is that draws me to this. I just get them.
Here's the thing: does the vending machines at the airports, do they accept flyer miles?
No, they don't. Those ones did come out of my. Normally, they do not. No.
Oh, they have masks. That's cool.
Yeah, they do. They do. I know San Diego does. They have masks and like hand sanitizers and stuff like that in the vending machines. The one that gets me is every time I go to grab something quick from a vending machine and it has like a card reader, the card reader never works. I don't understand how the card reader works. I'm like, okay, I swipe, then I put in the number. Then it tells me to swipe the card. Then I swipe the card and it's like, okay, put in the number. I'm like, okay. I put in the number. And then it's like swipe your card, and it's just like it's back and forth. Like I just.
Do you ever have the problem where you swipe and it says, "All right, insert chip"? So you insert the chip and it goes error, swipe card, and then you just keep doing that, and you're like, "Okay, I'm done. I don't even want this." You know,
I think you and I both ran into this at some point, like when the chip starts to go bad, and it's one of those where it's like, you got to put it in 4 times, you got to wiggle it a little bit on.
And then take it out, and then it'll swipe, and you're like,
yeah.
Oh, wish cash was a thing still.
Yeah. No, but like when you talk about airports, that is a prime example of things that aren't probably normally socially acceptable that just happen at airports. Drinking beers at 9 o'clock in the morning, wearing pajamas and slippers, just some of the attire that I think airport security should have regulations on attire. Like, can we just do that? Can we do that?
Nah. Every time I've been to the airport, I'm in some sweats, some flip-flops, and a T-shirt.
See, I'm not. I like jeans, or at least decent pants. I never wear sweats going to the airport. Not a fucking chance.
Classy SOB. And about the drinking early, of course you get there, if you get there, you have an early flight, you got to have breakfast at one of the stores inside the check-in because you can't bring liquid in. So, you sit down, you have some breakfast, and you're like, you know what? I want a drink to help me on my flight, just get the day going.
Well, the key to success is to fly enough to where they upgrade you to first class all the time for free, and then you get to have whatever. Give me some mimosas, ma'am.
Yeah, I ain't flying out for no reason, bud.
Fair enough. It does help that my occupation does cause me to fly a lot of different places. In Iowa today, decent weather. We talked about that. We had a pretty decent weather across the Midwest here. Not really sure what I'm going to eat. Don't know what Iowa is necessarily known for in terms of food. Same way Ohio is. There's really no one particular thing that Ohio is known for food.
Skyline.
Yeah, but that sucks.
But that's what they're known for. That's what they're known for. It's like, oh, all right.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
I know it's not that good, but I kind of enjoy Skyline. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it's because it's different, I guess. I don't know.
It's not something I'd want all the time, but once every now and then going down to Cincinnati for a Bengals game. Sure, maybe.
And maybe because I associate Skyline with, as you affectionately call it, Cincinnati. So I just assume that everything there is not going to be good.
You're welcome.
Case in point, Joey B's knee. May that knee rest in peace.
First of all, he's back in Cincy, and he's about to be throwing. So you know what? He's going to be all right. You
don't listen to Kyle Brandt's 10 Questions. I know you like Kyle Brandt. He just had Alex Smith on. Amazing interview. You need to listen to it.
I do love me some Alex Smith.
He actually has a clothing brand. Attitude is Free, I believe is what it's called.
Is it
pretty
just
cool.
different styles of a knee brace, or how's that work?
So the one thing that he talked about is, they kind of mocked it after, there was a while where he was depressed. I mean, he was in the hospital for a month.
Oh, you got to think. That's
wheelchair, crutches. I mean, that was his livelihood, and it was gone. Now, his comeback tour. He did decent when he had opportunities to play. He did decent this year. But he was talking about how he's got 2 daughters, or he's got 1 daughter and 2 sons, maybe. He's got kids. So the Halloween following his gruesome injury, he went as basically like a surfer with a mauled up leg, right? his 2 of his kids went as baby shark.
Oh, that's funny.
and then his wife and his daughter went as lifeguards. So you make the best of a bad situation, and you have to,
No, absolutely.
You have to.
That's good shit.
He did. I felt so bad. It's like the way he talked about it. I was in this depressive state. I couldn't even put weight on it for like the first 6 months or so. He was talking about. So, that can't be easy. Like, you have to think about, He was talking about, the burden he was on like his wife and kids and what he had to go through. You
And
kind of
he
feel for a
still
guy.
came back and won NFL games
Comeback player of the year as well.
at the highest level of professional sports. He still won to an extent. I mean, Washington's fucking atrocious, but yeah.
Neither here nor there.
Yeah, neither here nor there. Speaking of which, the old Chicago Brown Bears play my Bengals in Chicago. So we need to, once the schedule comes out, we need to take a gander at that, buddy.
We will make a trip. Hopefully, one thing I would like to do is get the equipment to be able to record while we're traveling. That'd be pretty
so
fun.
Cool.
So maybe something we can get into. Obviously, it won't be live unless we might be able to make that happen. I have something that we might be able to make that happen. However, yeah, I am interested to see. The Bears have dropped out of all quarterback free agency talks. That kind of scares me. Don't really care for that scenario. A lot of free agents.
Trade Nick Foles and your next 3 first-round picks to the Houston Texans. Get you some Deshaun Watson. Get him out of the AFC. I'm tired of seeing him. And, you'll be all right.
I would love that. I would love to right our wrongs. Say, hey, Deshaun, I know this is about 4 years in the making now. We should have drafted you. We didn't. Would you like to come to Chicago now? We have a very good defense. You're still going to be running for your life because our offense stinks. However, we have a running back. We have decent receivers. Now, looks like Allen Robinson's not staying unless they franchise tag him, which they probably will. They probably will. He's kind of the AJ Green situation now, minus the injuries, recent injuries at least. So I like what we have in terms of young talent for our receivers, but we need a big name in there.
Go with your Mac Jones, dog. Go with your Mac Jones. People are saying he's going 8 to Carolina, so I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see. Let's get away from the sports. Let me ask another question. Yeah. This is only like the third question I've asked. Okay.
It's the second, but all right.
No. Zero pain.
Yeah.
Zero pain and socially acceptable weird thing, which you never answered.
Oh, just going outside naked.
You think so? Would you want to do that?
Sure, why not? Let's see what happens. The thing about it, you don't have to wear anything to work. You're just naked, just hanging out.
So the reason I think I would enjoy that is I think people would pay me to put my clothes back on, and now I have a second living.
What is it that meme? All right, I'm sending out nudes. $10 to receive one, 20 to not.
Yeah.
All right, what you got next?
Up those prices. My next question for you: how would the world be different if Zeppelins had gone on? Like, let's say Zeppelins or blimps were the peak of flight technology.
Okay, all right, I'm listening.
So they're clearly slow, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have airplanes. Let's say we don't have airplanes. We have Zeppelins, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically like a train in the sky. They don't move that fast. However, there's like full service there. I mean, there's like a whole let's say there's like a dance hall. Like it has the works.
Oh yeah,
places to stay. Like there's rooms and stuff to stay in.
It'd make traveling a lot more fun, I think.
I think that would be very enjoyable.
Right.
I think that would be really cool. I think that would be awesome. So think of it like a plane, but there are think of they'd all be like first class planes.
There's like a hotel on it.
Yeah, there's a hotel on.
Yeah.
Obviously, clearly small because the weight of all that. However, that would be fantastic. I think I'd be all for that. Is it practical? No. You're going to get there in 7 to 10 days, maybe. I don't know.
Probably could have drove a little quicker. I don't know.
Yeah. If this thing had jets on it, too, that'd be pretty interesting. But I think that'd be fantastic. Like, I would love to be on a private jet one time. If there's one thing I could do in my lifetime, let it be that I get on a private jet that has like a bar set up on it. you go, you're drinking with your buddies. All right, where are we heading? I don't know. Somewhere warm, probably. If I had to guess, on a private jet, maybe.
Go.
Think I'm going to Wisconsin on a private jet? Not a fucking chance. We're heading down south.
You can just land anywhere in Wisconsin. It's just
yeah, pick a field. You just land.
Yeah, pick a field. You just go. Now, with that being too slow, what do you think about the hyperloops? Do you think that'd be better in transportation today?
So explain the hyperloops.
Oh, the hyperloops, like they're talking about one in. I just read an article on it too that they're talking about extending it from New York to Columbus to Chicago, and it'd be like $20 or $50 a ticket if you go from Columbus to Chicago in 40 minutes.
I'm for it. Let's wait a few years.
I'm not going to be the first to ride that damn thing, but you know what? If it survives 5 years without incidents, sure, I'll ride it.
I'm for it. Now, it's kind of weird that they're still utilizing this in time. So is this going to be like a whole tunnel thing, right?
I think, it's got to be. You think it's got to be, unless they replace train tracks with hyperloops.
So my understanding of it too is it's very much kind of like the trains in Black Panther. It's like this whole magnetic kind of setup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, it fared well for them in Black Panther, but that's vibranium. That's a whole different type of shit.
Yeah, we don't have that here. That's in Africa, so we can't get it.
Yeah, there's force fields around it and everything.
Yeah, no, we don't know it's there.
We don't. But I as long as they perfect that, I would love it. However, I think that's going to be the next trains. I mean, it's going to be like how packed the subways get.
Yeah.
For like just in New York, imagine that like across country.
Have you ever been on a subway in New York?
I have.
I have not.
I hate it. Don't ever do it. Don't ever do it.
The only thing I've seen of subways is on How I Met Your Mother. So it's like.
So yeah, where Barney runs the race. He's on the subway and he can't move his legs, so he's stuck. I saw where the subway turns around. You don't want to see where the subway turns around. I have been. There was a homeless man there that said I look like Slim Shady's brother. So shout out to that guy wherever he is now. I didn't like it simply because it was a large homeless congregating area, and homeless in New York, they are very abrasive people, very rough around the edges people. You get homeless people, like you talk about San Diego, homeless people in San Diego, there's a lot, but they don't really bother you. Homeless people in San Francisco, they poop everywhere.
And they show you their cock socks.
They show you. I don't even think that guy was homeless. I think that guy was just being himself.
Just on his lunch break,
I wish that was socially acceptable. That's what you're looking for. That's what you want.
Hey, you know what? Minus the sock, we're good.
But still shoes. You got.
I rode a Greyhound bus one time from San Antonio, Texas, to Dallas, Texas. Longest.
Yeah, and now we also rode the train.
Very similar to about the subs.
Yeah. So we rode the train we stayed in New Jersey. We rode the train from New Jersey into New York. That wasn't all that bad. But once you start getting into the subway systems, it stinks. They're pretty crowded. I don't know if you've ever been on the little subway at like Denver's airport to get from one terminal to the next. That gets really crowded. Same way, man. It's just, it's nuts to butts in there, dude.
See, Atlanta's airport's not too bad when it comes to that to get from terminal to terminal.
Some aren't.
And then the one, what is it, from in Chicago? Chicago has a train that goes to downtown Chicago from, that one didn't seem too bad. That was actually a really nice train. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool.
Yeah, that has been under construction for quite some time now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it depends. Well, there's two different airports in Chicago as well. You have Midway and you have O'Hare. So depending on which one you're at, it's.
Well, no, we took one from Great Lakes, a train from Great Lakes down to middle of Chicago. I don't know where, but I remember looking at that train and going, "Damn, this is fucking nice."
This is a nice train.
Yeah, this is a really. If I was in a train, I think I would really enjoy myself right now.
If I was a train enthusiast, this would be the train I'd want to be on.
But I am not. So,
okay, so I think we're both in agreement. Yeah, my grandfather worked for CTA, which was the city. I don't know. I was gonna make it up. I don't actually. The City Transit Authority, something like that. You get it. But anyways, so my next question for you: we've talked about being invisible on the show before.
Yeah, absolutely.
However, we have not talked about being permanently invisible on the show before. So, if you could be invisible, but you were permanently invisible, would you do it? Think of it like, okay, you're Wade Wilson. To cure your cancer, they turn you invisible. Chicago Transit Authority. Yep.
Look at that.
So
Yep.
Moving on. Thank you. I've been corrected enough times in my life. Thank you.
If it was to cure something, and sure, I mean, yeah, you know what? I'd do it. Yeah.
Well, let's say it's not a cure for something. Let's say you have an opportunity to become invisible. However, it's permanent. There's no going back.
Nah, not right now. Maybe before I met the fiance and all that good stuff, and like, yeah, probably. But now it's like, nah. She might miss me a little bit.
Depends on the day, I'm sure.
Yeah, you're right.
So that's a good point.
Yeah.
I feel like the mischief would get old after a while. Like the point of being invisible would be like, all right, I want to fuck with people a little bit. And then you do it and then you're like, all right, I'm sad. I can't see anybody. Like they can hear me. Ooh, whoa, how fun is that?
I'm just going to, yeah. I mean, how would you not be invisible then? Would you just like wear someone's skin or like have
okay, all right. fucking Buffalo Bill. It puts the lotion in the basket.
I'm just sitting here thinking, like, all right, well, if you were invisible, how would you, like, yeah, you could paint yourself, but.
I think that's the best you could do. You put clothes on and you paint yourself.
Yeah.
You just, like, it's just like taking paint on your face. I don't need it to look pretty, man. I don't need it to look like me, like, whatever. I don't give a shit. I don't know. That's it. Yeah. I mean, you could. In theory, make yourself not invisible by doing something like that. But is that a process you want to go through every single time?
Yeah. Well,
I mean, there's only one part of you that doesn't need to be invisible. Those beautiful eyes, buddy. That's what I'm talking about.
That's right. I can't get rid of these beautiful eyes, right? Beautiful eyes, the blondish, reddish hue hair.
Say it.
Which, by the way, it is looking awfully red today. I don't like it.
Tell the story. You were at a hibachi place, right? You're at a hibachi place.
So you and your fiance were at a hibachi place.
No. No.
So me and Felicia were at a hibachi place for Valentine's Day. Sit down eating, and it's because of COVID, only one party per section. So we're like, oh, this is cool. Guy comes over and he's cooking it up, cracking jokes. Great guy. I'm already thinking, you know what? I'm going to tip this guy through the roof. He's awesome. Fantastic. And as he goes, he starts to pour the sauce. He goes, yum, yum, and ginger. And she goes, yeah, I'll take both. And he goes, I see you like your ginger, huh? And points at me. And I'm like, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Now I got to tip you more because I really hated that joke. But it was fun.
Here's your tip. Don't be an asshole next time. Yeah. I'm glad that happens because you've been in denial for quite some time. Glad you're finally a part of the community. Once those jokes start flying, they do not go away. They don't. You're in it for the long haul now, pal.
I've been cracking these jokes since high school.
It's catching up to you. It's catching up to you. It's catching up.
I'll continue them. Don't worry. All right, what else we got?
Shit, you know that. All right, I got one more question for you. We'll wrap it up.
Let's do it.
A few of the other ones I'm going to save. So
Ooh, good one.
we are actually currently confirmed, unless something changes. We will be having our good friend Hondo on next week.
Hondo! Woo! Yeah! I heard that man wrestles bulls in the morning.
I think he does. Yeah, that's actually his workout. Maybe he'll tell us some stories about the zoo. I don't want to say what. I hope I haven't said what zoo he works at.
No.
That way he can tell stories, and if not, then that's whatever. I'm excited to have him on. We're going to talk about how Adam Sandler has put out a tweet recently. He's got the old Happy Gilmore swing back. He put it on Instagram. Is this a leak for him doing a Happy Gilmore reboot? Who knows?
Oh, he's looking kind of old right now, though.
He's looking very old. So Shooter McGavin. Shooter McGavin looks like he has seen some shit in his days, dude. He might have murdered a person or two. I don't know. All right. My last question for you. If you were forced into gladiatorial combat, but could only choose a weapon that is a non-conventional, it's not typically considered a weapon, what weapon would you choose?
Oh, that's a good one. I didn't come prepared for this.
I know you didn't.
What do you got?
Actually, see, I don't know. That's a risk you got to take, though, because you can go the route of chemical warfare, almost a little biological warfare.
Yeah.
What if your opponent's allergic to peanuts? What if you use peanuts as a weapon?
Well, first of all, are we doing a profile on our opponents at that point? Like,
No.
Is someone coming in and being like, "Here, he's allergic to peanuts. Take the fucking peanut butter."
Let me see his blood work. What do we got on this man? No, actually, I think a lamp. I think a lamp is a pretty good, solid, non-conventional. That way, especially if it's got a bulb in it, you shatter that bulb. Now you got something sharp to cut them with. And then once that's gone, you got a fucking staff like this one behind me, dude. Oh yeah, that's a good one there, right there.
Yeah, dude, that'd be a good weapon. You got kind of a hook to it, you know. Hook.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Go ahead, sweep the leg, Johnny. By the way, been watching Cobra Kai. It is a great show. Sweep the leg, Johnny.
I'm thinking about it, and when I was growing up, my dad always, no matter where we lived, always had a big willow tree in it. I'd take a bundle of willow branches. You know, you ever been hit by one of those? Those things fucking hurt.
They're like whips, dude.
And they're strong too. So you know what? You might be able to, whip them a few times, get them to, back down, then tie them up. You'll be good to go.
Or, I mean, you go the route of like a John Wick or something, like your headphone cords, just get everybody around the neck and just choke them out like that.
Or like a pencil, how he kills someone with a fucking pencil like that.
They take 3 movies for that to unfold.
Yeah, I know.
He killed him in a bar. What the fucking pencil? Who fucking does that? Like, he's really like,
you nailed that impersonation, by the way. So good for you, bud. You've been working on it.
Listen. I kind of want to get into the impersonation game. I want to bring like a new little spice to the show.
Voice animation acting. I think you could do it.
Maybe that's the route I need to take.
Yeah, I think so. I'll call some people.
You don't know anybody in the voice. If Bryce ever does like cartoons for his anime, and he needs like voiceovers,
and then who's coming to who, bitch?
I was got. Well, I have that direct contact myself now, so yeah. So Mama Steele's impersonation is Will Ferrell, and it sounds a little something like this. Doesn't sound like Will Ferrell at all, but a little something like this. This is me doing an impression of Mama Steele, doing an impression of Will Ferrell. Idiot.
Well, that sounds just like Will Ferrell. Wow, you nailed it. Mom Steel must be great at that impersonation.
See, what it sounds like to me is literally just someone saying idiot, but to each their own. No, but I really would. I need to figure out how to do like Adobe illustrations and animations and stuff. I dabbled early on, took too much time. Not something I want to invest in yet, unless I ever find myself having more time. Now, here's the thing: if I spent more time on the planes trying to do some of this stuff, yeah, the productions may be a little bit better. However, here's the thing: I'm going from plane to plane, city to city quite often, so I'm sleeping. I am 100% sleeping on those planes, man. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
You know, if you want to see some like shitty animation drawings, but like the voice is pretty good, it's called Bruce Stew. I've probably sent you a few things. That dude's fucking hilarious.
They're like stick figures. Yeah,
yeah.
It's like the story about the airsoft guns.
Yeah, looking through my scope like I'm about to assassinate a public official.
So here I am with my Kennedy killer.
Yeah, I throw Michael in the back of his paddy wagon like the wild animal that he is. Just a 6-year-old kid. That's good. That's good shit.
Yeah, that is some good shit. Yeah, check out Bruce too if you get a chance.
Fantastic. He's from Ohio too.
Worth watching. Let's get him on the show. Let's find a way to get him on.
You know what? Let's get him on the show. That's a great idea.
Bruce Stew, we will find a way to tag or reach out to you, see if you want to get on our show. Maybe do a little animation for us. I don't know what it takes. I don't know what it takes on your guys' end to get an animation created, but we'll be in touch. We'll find a way.
Listen, if I have red hair in the animation, he's dead. So
I will be the one trying to reach out to him, most likely. So we'll see what we can do. Let's wrap it up there for today. Great show. Thank you for everybody who tuned in. Thank you for all the comments today. Thank you to my lovely fiance. We got our venue nailed down. That's right. Get our manager, Tom, to set that up. We do need to have Tommy back on the show. I think he's got more connections than he's letting on. We need to figure out what his role is going to be in this entire thing. I know he still listens. We still talk about it every now and then. That's going to be my shout out for today. Shout out to Tommy. Get on the show. Make it happen. Shout out to DJ Sweat too.
DJ Sweat.
I'm looking for DJ's first person I text. Hey bud. He is actually, in fact, my uncle. I don't know if you guys could tell from our facial similarities.
I can see it.
That joke not funny for the people who just listen to the audio. That joke for the people who listen to the videos, there is some comedic value there. But yeah, I had to reach out and I was like, hey, need a DJ. Do you know anybody on the down low for cheap? Hook your boy up. What you know about it?
He's like, yeah, I know some cheap people. Not me, but I know some cheap people.
Yeah. You do not want to see my practice. Dude, he's told me some of the like parties for like famous people, like baseball players he's DJ'd for, like MLB players he's DJ'd for and stuff like that. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Okay.
That's awesome. That's good shit.
So if it does end up being him that DJs, he better bring the noise because I want what they got, which probably cost them a pretty penny, but I'm going to pay him in hugs and smiles, baby. Hugs and smiles. But like I said, we'll go ahead and wrap it up for today. I'm excited for next episode, getting Hondo on. A lot of good conversation, a lot of catching up to do with him. Should be good conversation. He is an absolute goofball, doofus, if you will, ding dong, if you must.
Listen, to prepare for that episode, I need you to watch some Adam Sandler movies and then watch that episode.
Stick to the older ones, the Happy Gilmores, the Billy Madisons, things like that. And you will get a very good sense of what sort of energy he will likely bring. and what kind of personality he will be.
It's very much an Adam Sandler, Steve Irwin mix. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that. Then you're there.
I'm gonna wrestle this alligator. I do give it the old shabadoo and hop on the back of an alligator. And my mama says alligators are so ornery because I got all them teeth but no toothbrush.
Beautiful.
So stay tuned. Make sure you guys are checking that episode. And as always, thank you all and cheers.
Cheers.